Want to learn your target language for free? Then get our language gifts of the month right now before they expire. Here's what you're getting this month. First, the Giving Directions Conversation Cheat Sheet. Do you know how to tell a taxi driver where to go in your target language? You'll be able to. With this PDF cheat sheet, you'll learn must-know words and phrases for giving directions. Second, the Most Common Verbs PDF ebook. You'll learn over 90 common verbs with this bonus PDF picture ebook. Download and review on any device. Third, how to talk about what you do in your free time. Learn how to say video games, fishing, and much more. You'll pick up over 25 words for leisure activities with this vocab bonus. Fourth, how to learn from home, learning strategies. Want to learn the language from the comfort of your own home? This 1-minute lesson will give you all the best tactics for learning languages. Fifth, the top 35 adjectives for personalities. Can you describe your personality? This next bonus will teach you the 35 must-know adjectives for personalities, so you can talk about yourself in your target language. Sixth, free language learning audiobooks. Want free access to our huge library of beginner-level audiobooks? Then click the link below. Save the audiobooks to your device and listen and learn. They're yours to keep forever. And finally, the deal of the month. If you want to finally master the language with lessons by real teachers and our complete language learning program, get up to 45% off our 6-month challenge sale. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire.
Toma, Efra. Oh, muchas gracias. Los tenis que traigo me quedan muy justos y me lastimaban.
Ni lo menciones. Es lo justo. La vez anterior tú me ayudaste cuando me sentía mal y fuiste por mí a la escuela.
Bueno, oye, por cierto, ¿cómo te fue en el examen? ¿El profesor te dejó hacerlo de nuevo?
Sí, claro. De hecho, le llevé un justificante y entendió. En realidad es un profesor muy justo. Me dejó hacer el examen otra vez.
Ah, qué bien. Oye, déjate retribuyo el favor de hoy. ¿Qué te parece si vamos por unas cervezas? Tengo el dinero justo para 2.
No. ¿Puedo negarme a tan maravillosa oferta? Por supuesto que sí, vamos.
Sabía que no te negarías.
Hello there, my beautiful friends from SmashBall101.com. As you might know, my name is Diego.
I'm Efraín.
And today we're going to talk about the word justo, the meanings, and some examples of use.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, guys, enjoy this video. Whoa! Okay, guys, so this word, justo, can you believe that it has 5 different meanings in Spanish? We're going to check them here, right now. So, justo could be either an adjective or an adverb. Cool. And we're going to see also some examples of use of this word. So, let's get started with the first one and the most common meaning of justo.
Okay, the first one is fair. Justo for fair. Okay? So, for example, él es un juez justo. Nunca ha aceptado ningún soborno.
Muy justo.
El profesor es justo. Trata a todos sus alumnos por igual.
Very nice. Good. Okay, so the second one is justo when it means exact or right. Okay, exact or right. For example, apresúrate, Efraín. Tenemos el tiempo justo para llegar al cine. Okay, or tenemos el dinero justo para comprar un refresco. Well, 2 refrescos. ¿Quieres uno?
Sí, claro.
Okay, a special note here. Notice how the word justo goes just after the noun. Tiempo justo or dinero justo. Just be careful on the placement.
Yeah. Okay, guys, the next meaning of justo is tight. So, for example, estos zapatos me quedan muy justos.
Okay, so here notice how justo is an adjective and it needs to correspond, it needs to match the noun. Zapatos is plural, that's why you say justos. Estos zapatos me quedan justos.
Okay. Ay, pero no me gusta cómo se le ve ese vestido. Le queda muy justo.
Sí, ¿verdad? Okay, so the next one is justo as an adverb. And as an adverb, it means exact, okay? Or it also means just.
Okay.
For example, Efraín, justo cuando decido ponerme a dieta, me regalan estas deliciosas papas de queso.
Si no las quieres, yo no estoy a dieta.
No, voy a romper la dieta mejor. Sí. Or, justo llegué hace 2 minutos, Efra.
Muy rápido.
Sí.
The next one is lo justo. And lo justo is rather a phrase. So it means the right thing. So for example, lo justo es que vayas a la cárcel por robarme mi taco.
Oye, pero solo fue un taco.
Pues solo compré un taco.
Ok.
A la cárcel. Lo justo es que paguemos por el mantenimiento de esta casa los dos.
Oye, pero yo no vivo aquí.
Pero es lo justo, lo siento. Yo no hice las reglas. That's it for today, my beautiful friends of SpanishPod101.com. So if you like this video, please share it with our learners so they know the different uses of justo. Of this word. Okay, give us your thumbs up, write your comments down there, and subscribe to this channel. And see you in our next video. Hasta luego.
See you guys. Okay, guys, so here you have 3 facts that you didn't know about us. Efraín, ¿tú tocas instrumentos musicales?
Sí, claro, llegué a estudiar piano y guitarra.
Oh, interesante. ¿Y qué tan bien tocas el piano?
Diría que muy bien. Soy muy bueno. Lo estudié como carrera profesional.
Wow.
Oye, Diego, pero tú estudiaste alemán, ¿no?
Ya, natürlich.
¿Y qué tan bien hablas alemán?
Pues mira, solamente lo estudié 1 año y es un idioma bastante complicado, entonces, honestamente, hablo mal. Hablo mal alemán. Oye, ¿y tú practicas algún deporte extremo?
Pues surfear. Me gusta surfear.
Oh, perfecto. ¿Y qué tan bien surfeas?
Regular. Bueno, no muy bien. De hecho, casi nada. Pero me gusta verlo y a veces subirme a una tabla.
Ok.
Diego, y tienes un hermano, ¿no?
Sí, así es. De hecho, nacimos el mismo día.
Wow. ¿Y qué tan bien te llevas con él?
Pues mira, me llevo muy bien. Y es algo extraño porque no nos parecemos nada. Ni físicamente, ni por nuestra personalidad. No nos parecemos nada.
Claro. ¿Y quién es más guapo?
La pregunta se responde sola.
¿Qué vaya? ¿Eso qué?
Oye, Efraín, y dime, ¿tú sabes cocinar?
Sí. No, lo hago muy mal. Se me quema casi nada. No, bastante mal.
Ok.
Oye, ¿y tú llegaste a practicar box? ¿No es así?
Sí, de hecho yo lo practiqué hace muchos años.
Wow. ¿Y qué tan bien peleas en esta disciplina?
Pues tuve una pelea profesional, bueno, semiprofesional.
Wow.
Entonces puedo asegurar que peleo bastante bien. Hello there, my beautiful friends from SpanishPod101.com. As you might know, my name is Diego.
I'm Efraín.
And in today's topic, we're going to talk about how to rate in Spanish. Okay, so as you may have heard in the conversation, we were answering how well we do something.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to learn in this video. So guys, if you're interested, enjoy this video. Wow! Okay guys, so sometimes answering yes to a question is not enough because sometimes you want to say how well you do something. So when you answer to the question, hey, do you know how to cook? You say, well, yeah, sí. ¿Sabes cocinar? Sí. Or even when we ask, do you know how to speak Spanish? Hey, ¿sabes hablar español? So you can say sí or you can say no. But in case you say yes, sometimes we want to add more information. That is how well you do it. So that's where rate comes into play. And we're going to find out the most common ways to rate in Spanish. So let's see.
Now, we are going to give you the most common ways to rate. But you may hear other ways. These are not the only ones. Okay, but these are the most common ones, as I told you. Okay, let's go with the first one. Muy bien. Muy bien. Which is very good. Bastante bien. Bastante bien. Quite good. Bien. Good. Regular or its synonym, más o menos. More or less. Mal. Mal. Bad. Muy mal or its synonym, fatal. Very bad.
Very good. As an example, if you are asked the question, ¿qué tan bien cocinas? ¿Qué tan bien cocinas?
Yeah.
So look at the question, because for rating, you can ask the question, ¿qué tan bien? How well? Okay? ¿Qué tan bien? And then the action. So, ¿qué tan bien cocinas? Okay? So you can say, yo cocino bien, yo cocino muy bien, yo cocino muy mal o fatal, yo cocino más o menos, etc. So these are not the only ways for rating, as Efrain said. We have even more ways. So we're going to show you even more ways for rating, but these are not only adverbs, okay? So, for example, you can say un poco. Un poco plus an adjective, okay? Un poco plus an adjective. And un poco is like, is likely. It's likely.
Okay. Yeah, for example, estoy un poco cansado. Estoy un poco cansado. I'm a little tired.
Good. Okay. The next one is that you can also say un poco bien or un poco mal or slightly well or slightly bad. Okay. For example,
me siento un poco mal. Me siento un poco mal. I'm feeling a little bad.
Muy bien, excelente. Just a little.
Just a little.
This is very useful and you use it obviously after the verb. Okay. Also, you can say un poco de plus a noun. Un poco de plus a noun. For example,
hablo un poco de español. Hablo un poco de español. I speak a little Spanish.
The next one is nada, but here be careful because the double negations in Spanish do exist. So whenever you want to say nada, whenever you want to use nada, you need also to say no, okay, when rating.
Okay.
So the structure is no, nada, okay?
Yeah.
For example,
no entiendo nada. No entiendo nada. I don't understand at all.
Muy bien, muy bien. So the next one is that you can say nada bien or nada mal, okay? Which is like not good at all or not bad at all, okay?
No está nada mal. No está nada mal. It's not bad at all.
The last one is that you can say nada de plus a noun. Nada de plus a noun.
Yep.
For example,
no hago nada de ejercicio. No hago nada de ejercicio. I don't work out at all. That's it for today, my family of SpanishPod101.com. I'm glad you watched us, and please, if you like this video, give us your thumbs up, share it with other learners, and don't forget to subscribe to this beautiful channel. Write your comments down there and tell us qué tan bien hicimos este video.
¿qué tan bien?
Hasta luego.
Hola, soy Brenda Romagnelo, tu profesora de español. Hoy vamos a ver cómo y cuándo cambiar del registro informal al registro formal en español. Today I'm going to teach you how to and when to change from the informal register to the formal register in Spanish. Let's formally talk about this. As you may or may not know, we have two different registers in Spanish. We have the formal register and the informal register. The informal register, we have the personal pronoun. We're going to use tú or vos, and for the formal register, we're going to use usted. So usted means you, but it's a formal register. It's a formal way to address somebody. When it comes to the difference between tú and vos, vos is basically you, it means tú, but it's mostly used in Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, certain parts of Central and Latin America, such as, for example, certain parts, not all Colombia, but certain regions in Colombia, and some parts of Spain as well. So let's compare the following questions. ¿Dónde trabajas? ¿Dónde trabajas? ¿Dónde trabaja? So what is the difference between these questions? ¿Dónde trabajas? ¿Dónde trabajas? ¿Dónde trabaja? As you can see here, the difference is that we have different people performing these actions. We have different forms of you. And two of these questions are informal and one is formal. So, ¿dónde trabajas? Is for tú, and this is informal. It's an informal question, it's informal register. ¿Dónde trabajas? Is with vos, and it's also informal. Y and ¿dónde trabaja? Is the formal register. I hope you were able to hear the difference between trabajas and trabajas. As we are going to see in a few minutes, you'll see that with vos, the conjugation, you'll always have that written accent most of the time. In the present tense when we conjugate these verbs. So let's start with the how. So as you know, in Spanish we have three different endings for infinitive verbs in Spanish. We have all the verbs ending in ar, for example, hablar, all the verbs ending in er, for example, comer, and all the verbs ending in ir, for example, vivir. So we're going to conjugate all of these different endings with these three different forms for you, which are two informal and one formal. So for tú, for the verbs ending in ar, we're going to change for as, ¿sí? A-S, A-S. Por ejemplo, hablar o trabajar, we're going to say tú hablas, tú trabajas. For vos, we're going to change the ending for as, con ese acento, muy bien, with that written accent. So we're going to say, vos hablas, vos trabajas. And for the formal register, which is usted, we're going to just simply say a. Okay, por ejemplo, usted habla, usted trabaja. For the verbs ending in er, tú, we're going to say es. Por ejemplo, tú comes. For vos is going to be es, but with that written accent, vos comes, and usted is just going to be e, usted come. And for the verbs ending in ir, for tú, we're just going to say es, for example, tú vives. For vos, it's going to be more similar to the first part of vosotros, yes, which is vos vivís. And for usted, we're just going to say usted vive. So this is how we conjugate regular verbs in the present tense of the indicative mood. I know I'm saying a lot of these fancy words, but you'll get it eventually. It's pretty simple, yes? So this is how we conjugate these verbs in the present tense with the different ways to say you, a singular you in Spanish. Now let's move to when. When is it appropriate to use the formal register en español? When is it appropriate? I'm going to tell you this. If you're unsure whether a situation is formal or informal, I would encourage you to maybe start with the formal, because you want to be over polite instead of just slightly rude. Yes, so it's better to be overly polite, and then if the situation or the person wants you to be treated, or if they want the conversation to be informal, then they will say something like tutéame o me puedes tutear. Yes, tutear significa to treat someone, to speak to someone with the informal register tú, tutear. That's where it's coming from, tú, tutear. But most of the time, we are going to say that a formal register, a formal situation would be when you speak in Spanish to, for example, your boss, especially in a sort of old-fashioned, more structured company. Nowadays, where the world is moving a little bit more to informal and things like that, if you don't wear a suit to work or anything like that, maybe you can use informal register at work. But most of the time, for job interviews or for specific work, then you'll probably use the formal register with usted. Then if you speak to, for example, the president of a country, yeah, I will probably use usted. Or the same if you speak to the Pope, the Queen, the King, probably usted is the right call here. Also, formal register is expected when you are going to maybe an VIP event or a special ceremony event, black tie, party, anything that is very sophisticated, elegant, and formal, then you're going to use the formal register usted and expect to be treated as usted. It's also very common in other very traditional settings, such as a bank, or sometimes for customer service, you will be treated or you are expected to treat customers as usted. Some restaurants as well. Now I want to share with you some vocabulario that is specifically used for formal situations. Repite: señor, señora, señora, señorito, señorito, señorita, señorita, don, don, doña, doña, caballero, caballero, dama, dama. A few things that I want to point out about these things. For example, something, just a curiosity, señorita is also used as teacher, for example, in primary school. Miss, I guess in English we also say Miss, Romaniello, she's teaching the class today, is the same in Spanish. The difference between don and señor, or doña and señora, is that don and doña are more formal, they are higher prestige. And have you ever gone to a bathroom in Spain or Latin America and have you seen the signs saying damas or caballeros, or have you been to a show where they introduce in the introduction the presenter goes damas y caballeros? Yeah, so that means ladies and gentlemen, and in the bathroom is of nice places you'll have damas and caballeros, so you can choose. Now you know which bathroom to go to. That's pretty good. Muy bien, vamos a practicar. Let's practice. I'm going to show you a few different settings, a few different contexts, and I want you to tell me, is it formal or informal? ¿Es formal o informal? Would you use tú or usted in the following cases? Respuestas. Let's have a look at the answers. So the first one is usted. So we have to treat elderly people in Spanish with respect, and that is why we also have to use the formal register with them, unless, of course, they ask you to treat them as tú. So we can tutear the elderly people, of course, if they allow it. But, of course, as a sign of respect, we use usted. In the second situation, we can see some friends, amigos. So in this case, we can use tú or vos. In the third one, you can see it's a very formal setting, so we're going to use usted. Then in the workplace or in this medical center, we also use usted because it's formal. In a classroom, it depends what sort of setting it is. If it is at university and, for example, high school, it's very likely that you will use a formal register with usted. But if it is, for example, your Spanish class, you can ask me or you can treat me as tú. So you can tutear me, of course. And the last one, you have the police officers there. So it's a formal situation. We need to use usted. Muy bien. Now, in the following exercise, we have a few answers that I'm going to show you, and I want you to write the question using usted, the formal register. Respuestas. The first one is ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? Me llamo Andrés. For B, ¿cómo se llama? Mi nombre es Carla. Remember, we have different ways to say my name is. Me llamo, mi nombre es, or even soy. C, ¿cuál es su apellido? ¿Cuál es su apellido? What is your surname? What is your last name? Mi apellido es Sánchez. ¿Cómo está? ¿Sí? How are you, sir or madam? Muy bien, gracias. Y, ¿puede deletrear su nombre? Or another option, ¿cómo se escribe? ¿Cómo se deletrea su nombre? All this is the formal register. Remember, we have to say tú, cómo se escribe, cómo se deletrea su nombre. ¿Sí? And then we have Jorge there, which you spell Jorge, ¿verdad? Jorge. Soy de España is the next answer in the following one, which is the F1. De dónde es would be the question, where are you from in the formal register. G, ¿cuál es su dirección? Or another option, ¿cuál es su domicilio? Yes, this is to ask where is your, which one is your address or where do you live? La respuesta, the answer es la calle República número 25. Yeah, so that's the formal register for that question. H, ¿dónde vive? Okay, ¿dónde vive would be usted. Yo vivo en La Habana. I, ¿cuál es su fecha de nacimiento? What is your date of birth? Mi fecha de nacimiento es el 3 de febrero de 1957. Yeah, so that is the date of birth. And the last one, J, ¿cuántos años tiene? This is to ask for how old you are, but in the formal register with usted. Tengo 60 años was the answer.
In the following exercise, I want you to tell me which one of these words are appropriate for a formal situation. When would you use it for a formal situation? Or would you use this one instead for informal situations? Adiós is more informal. Hasta pronto, it could be used definitely in informal situations. Ciao and ciao, I will leave it just for informal situations. Hasta la próxima semana, it's fine to use in formal situations. Hasta luego, formal situations is also appropriate to use. Nos vemos, it's a little bit more informal. Hasta mañana, it could be used in formal register. And hasta la próxima, depending on the context, but it could be used in formal situations as well. Muy bien, eso es todo por hoy. That is all for today. I really hope you liked this lesson and I will see you next class. Nos vemos en la próxima clase. Adiós, hasta luego. Hola, soy Brenda Romagnello, tu profesora de español. Bienvenidos a tu clase. Welcome to your Spanish class. I'm Brenda Romagnello. Hoy vamos a aprender vocabulario y expresiones de negocios en español. Today we're going to learn some must-know business expressions in Spanish. The first thing that I would like to say is that because we're talking about business, negocios, we're most likely going to be using in Spanish the formal register, which requires the use of you in the formal form, which is usted. First, we're going to see different scenarios where it is appropriate to use these expressions. We'll learn some vocabulary and we'll learn some useful expressions, business expressions that you must know. Let's start with some jobs. Profesiones.
Some occupations have commonly used the feminine forms, such as ingeniero or ingeniera, which are the feminine and the masculine form of these professions, or psicólogo and psicóloga for psychologist, but some others actually stay the same. For example, electricista, dentista, and periodista, which are electrician, dentist, and journalist, they always remain the same, regardless if they are a woman or a man.
Repite después de mí. Repeat after me.
Doctor,
doctora. Dentista. Enfermero, enfermera. Maestro, maestra. Profesor, profesora. So the difference here is that usually maestro is for a teacher from kindergarten or primary school, and then from high school and university, usually we call them profesor. Contador, contadora. Abogado, abogada. Diseñador, diseñadora. Consultor financiero, consultora financiera. Secretario, secretaria. Asistente de ventas. Electricista. Plomero. Cocinero, cocinera, chef. Empresario, empresaria. Vamos a estudiar ahora un poco de vocabulario. Let's study this vocabulary. La oficina central. La oficina central. La sucursal. El departamento. El departamento. Empleado de oficina. Empleado de oficina. Gerente. Gerente. Let's have a look at some sentences that we can use with this vocabulary. La oficina central está en Madrid. La oficina central está en Madrid. Soy plomero. Soy plomero. Ella es estudiante. Es estudiante.
Muy bien, vamos a practicar. Let's practice. How would you say this? The head office is in Madrid. I work in the marketing department. I am a businesswoman. I am a businessman.
The answers are: número 1, number 1, la oficina central está en Madrid. Número 2, number 2, trabajo en el departamento de marketing. Número 3, soy empresaria o soy una mujer de negocios. Número 4, soy empresario o soy un hombre de negocios.
Just on a side note, I would say that empresario or empresaria is used to refer to entrepreneurs or people who own their own businesses. Hombre de negocios o mujer de negocios is more a term to describe women or men who run businesses. So that's what they do, but not to introduce themselves when they're talking to somebody. Muy bien, ahora vamos a ver vocabulario y expresiones para la oficina. Let's have a look at some vocabulary and expressions for in the office. Yes, when you are in an office. Let's start with some vocabulary for the office.
Vocabulario de la oficina. Let's have a look at some vocabulary for the office. We're going to start with computadora or ordenador. Some other countries in Latin America also call it computador. So for a laptop, we're going to say computadora portátil or ordenador portátil, computador portátil. Pantalla. Pantalla is the screen. Silla. Silla significa chair. Keyboard se dice teclado. Teclado. Be aware that the Spanish computer keyboard has a different layout to the standard one that you might be used to. Remember, we have different written accents to add to certain vowels, as well as the ñ, yes. So all these letters, of course, need to be in the Spanish keyboard. Diary se dice agenda. Agenda. Pen, we say in Spanish bolígrafo, or also pluma. Bolígrafo, pluma. Ratón o mouse. Ratón, mouse. Cajón. Cajón significa drawer teléfono. Teléfono, be careful here. I want you to put the emphasis of this word in the second E. Teléfono. No, I don't want you to hear, I don't want to hear you saying teléfono. Okay, it's teléfono. And the last one, printer, we say impresora. Impresora. Vamos a estudiar otro vocabulario. Let's study some other vocabulary that is very important for you to know. Repeat after me. Correo electrónico, email. They're both pretty much used the same. Internet. Contraseña. Mensaje de voz. Máquina de fax. Fotocopiadora. Tarjeta de negocios. Reunión. Conferencia. Cuaderno o libreta de notas. Engrapadora. Reloj.
Muy bien. Ahora vamos a ver algunas expresiones que son comunes en una oficina. So now let's have a look at some expressions that are common in an office.
Repite después de mí para estudiar estas frases útiles. Repeat after me so that we practice these useful phrases. Necesito hacer algunas copias. Necesito hacer algunas copias. Me gustaría organizar una cita. Me gustaría organizar una cita. Quiero enviar un email. Quiero enviar un correo electrónico. Disculpe, tengo que tomar esta llamada. Disculpe, tengo que tomar esta llamada.
Perfecto. Ahora vamos a practicar. Now let's practice. How would you say it in Spanish? I would like to arrange a meeting. I need to send a fax. Do you have a laptop?
Muy bien. Entonces, so how are you going to say this? I'd like to arrange a meeting. I would like to arrange a meeting. Me gustaría organizar una reunión. I need to send a fax. ¿Cómo se dice? Necesito enviar un fax. Necesito enviar un fax. ¿Cómo se dice? Do you have a laptop? ¿Tiene una computadora portátil? ¿Tiene una computadora portátil? Muy bien, excelente.
The next context es el mundo académico. Let's now have a look at some vocabulario and expressions that we can use in the academic world. Vamos a empezar con un poco de vocabulario. Let's start with some vocabulary.
Ahora vamos a estudiar un poco de vocabulario del mundo académico. So let's study some vocabulary from the academic world. Repite después de mí. La conferencia. El seminario. La sala de conferencias. La exposición. El profesor universitario. La profesora universitaria. Medicina. Ciencias. Literatura. Informática. Arte.
Here are some useful expressions.
Vamos a estudiar estas frases útiles. Let's study these useful phrases. ¿Cuál es su área? ¿Cuál es su área? Estoy haciendo investigación científica. Estoy haciendo investigación científica. Tengo un diploma en Derecho. Tengo un diploma en Derecho. Voy a dar una conferencia sobre arquitectura moderna. Voy a dar una conferencia sobre arquitectura moderna.
Now we're going to practice. Let's have a look at some exercises. How would you say this in Spanish? I'm doing research in medicine. I have a degree in literature. She is a professor.
¿Cómo se dice? I'm doing research in medicine. Se dice estoy haciendo investigación en medicina. ¿Cómo se dice I have a degree in literature? Tengo un diploma en literatura. How about she's the professor? Es la profesora. O ella es la profesora. Muy buen trabajo.
Ahora vamos a ver un poco de vocabulario y expresiones de los negocios. Now let's have a look at some vocabulary and expressions for business. Let's start with some vocabulario, some vocabulary.
Vamos ahora a estudiar vocabulario del mundo de los negocios. So now let's study vocabulary from the world of business. Repeat after me. Repite después de mí. La orden, or if we're talking about the verb, we will say ordenar. La orden, ordenar. La entrega, or if we are talking about the verb, we'll say entregar. El pago. El presupuesto. El precio. Los documentos. La factura. La estimación. Las ganancias. Las ventas. ¿Firmamos el contrato? Shall we sign the contract? ¿Firmamos el contrato? El ejecutivo. El o la cliente. El contrato.
Now let's move on to some useful expressions.
Vamos a estudiar estas frases útiles. Let's study these useful phrases. ¿Me puede enviar el contrato, por favor? ¿Me puede enviar el contrato, por favor? ¿Hemos acordado un precio? ¿Hemos acordado un precio? ¿Cuándo puede hacer la entrega? ¿Cuándo puede hacer la entrega? ¿Cuál es el presupuesto? ¿Cuál es el presupuesto? ¿Me puede enviar la factura? ¿Me puede enviar la factura?
Muy bien, vamos a practicar. Let's practice. Can you say this in Spanish? Can you send me the estimate? Can you send me the estimate? Have we agreed a budget? When can you send me the contract?
Entonces, ¿cómo se dice? How do you say it? Can you send me the estimate? ¿Me puede enviar la estimación? ¿Cómo se dice? Have we agreed a budget? ¿Hemos acordado un presupuesto? How do you say, when can you send me the contract? ¿Cuándo me puede enviar el contrato? Excelente trabajo.
Muy bien, eso es todo por hoy. Muchas gracias por ver la clase y nos vemos en la próxima. I will see you next class. Adiós, hasta luego.
Diego, tengo una pregunta para ti.
Sí, dime.
¿Qué hace un pez en el agua?
No lo sé.
Nada. Nada, o sea, de nadar, no de nada.
Es un pésimo chiste.
A este punto no te puedes dejar de reír.
Es que es un poco gracioso.
Ok, oye, ¿escuchas esa sirena?
El canto de la sirena es muy bonito, sí, claro.
¿De qué hablas? El sonido de la sirena, de la patrulla, de la policía.
No, solo escucho el canto de la sirena.
¿Estás bien?
¿Así? Hello there, my beautiful, beautiful friends from SpanishPro101.com. As you might know, my name is Diego.
I'm Efraín.
And in today's video, we're going to check some homonyms, okay,
Uh-huh.
which are words that are written the same, but they mean different things.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're interested, guys, enjoy this video. Woo!
So there are many homonyms, but we have chosen the most common ones, the 12 most common ones.
That's correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's start this list with the first one, lengua. Lengua, which could be either language or tongue. For example, mi lengua materna es el español. Mi lengua materna es el español. Or, mi lengua me pica cuando como chile.
It's muy común. Good. Okay, so the second one is tierra. And the first meaning of tierra means the earth. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So, nosotros vivimos en el planeta Tierra. Nosotros vivimos en el planeta Tierra. Or tierra could also mean the ground or soil. Okay?
Mhm.
So, for example, si combinamos la tierra con agua, se hace lodo.
Okay, let's continue with tiempo. And tiempo could mean time. For example, ¿cuánto tiempo haces para llegar a la escuela? ¿Cuánto tiempo haces para llegar a la escuela? But tiempo could also mean weather, or we can also, in Spanish, you can also use the word clima. For example, ¿qué tiempo hace en México comúnmente?
Bueno, yo creo que es un clima perfecto. No hace mucho calor, no mucho frío, no hay muchas lluvias. Está bien, ideal. Okay, so the next word that we have here is mañana. And mañana means two things. So the first thing is that mañana means morning. Okay? So, yo me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. That's not true, of course, but yo me levanto a las 7 de la mañana. Or we can also say mañana means tomorrow. Okay? ¿Qué vas a hacer mañana?
Ir al cine. Es solo una broma. Nunca salgo de mi casa. Okay, let's continue. The next word is carta. Carta, which could mean letter or menu. For example, a mi primera novia le pedí que fuéramos novios a través de una carta.
Ah, qué bonito. Ahora solo envías WhatsApp.
Sí.
Sí.
Bueno, hasta le puse colores a la carta.
Qué bonito.
Okay.
Ahora puedes poner emoticons en WhatsApp.
Okay, the next one. Menu. Lo primero que hago al entrar a un restaurante es pedir la carta.
Bueno, cada quien, yo entro y me siento y después pido la carta. I can imagine you just coming in. Hey, la carta.
Hi, la carta.
Hi, la carta.
Well, not like that. Okay.
Okay, guys, so the next one is the word sobre. And sobre as well has two meanings. The first meaning is on. Okay? So, the preposition on. For example, las llaves están sobre la mesa. Las llaves están sobre la mesa. But sobre could also mean envelope. Okay? Cuando haces una carta, la tienes que meter en un sobre.
Okay, the next one. Sirena. Sirena. Which could mean either siren or mermaid. So, for example, no sé distinguir entre el sonido de la sirena de una ambulancia y de una patrulla. No sé distinguir entre el sonido de la sirena de una ambulancia y de una patrulla.
No, yo tampoco.
Okay, the next one, the next meaning. Siempre he querido ver una sirena en la vida real. Siempre he querido ver una sirena en la vida real.
Las sirenas no existen, Efraín.
Bueno, no me rompas mis sueños.
Okay, guys, so the next word is cita. And the first meaning of cita is either it could be a meeting, okay, an appointment, or a date, okay? So, for example, este fin de semana tengo una cita con mi dentista. Con mi dentista. Tengo que ir a arreglarme los dientes. And the next meaning of cita is a quote. Okay? For example, mi cita favorita es de Walt Disney. Si puedes soñarlo, puedes hacerlo.
Wow, qué cita tan profunda.
Es inspiradora.
Okay, the next one is cara. And cara means expansive for feminine nouns. So, for example, esta máscara es muy cara.
Sí, claro, es original.
Sí.
No la toques, baja su valor.
Oh, perdón. Cara could also mean face. So, for example, esta máscara es para taparme la cara.
Oye, pero no la toques.
Oh, perdón.
Okay, guys, so the next one is muñeca. Muñeca. And muñeca, the first meaning of muñeca is the wrist. Okay? For example, oye...
no puedo mover la muñeca.
Oye, ¿no estará fracturada?
No lo sé.
Creo que sí está fracturada. Okay, so the next meaning of muñeca is doll, okay? A doll. For example, a mí la muñeca Anabel me da mucho miedo.
Da mucho miedo esa muñeca.
Sí.
A mí también. Wow. Okay, now we have tarde. And tarde could mean afternoon. Veré a Ana el viernes por la tarde. Me gusta mucho esa niña.
A mí también.
¿Qué?
También la veré, pero yo la veré hoy.
¿Por la tarde?
Sí, sí. Y tú mañana.
Espera un momento. Okay. It also, tarde could also mean late. So, for example, ya son las 7. Tenía una reunión a las 6.
Oh, wow, ya se te hizo tarde.
Sí, ya se me hizo tarde. Déjales llamo para decirles que llegaré tarde.
Sí. Okay, guys, so the next word that we have here is copa. And copa has actually 3 meanings. The first meaning that we have is cup, as in a sportive competition. En una competencia deportiva. So, for example, mi equipo favorito ganó la copa el año pasado. Bien. So, another meaning of copa is a glass, or more specifically, wine glass. Okay. So, for example, siempre tomo mi vino en una copa.
¿Qué clase?
Por supuesto. Well, and copa has also another meaning, and that's cup for the bra, like the size.
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay, the last one, nada. And nada could be the conjugation of nadar for the third person. Él, ella, and you, but formal. Él nada, ella nada, usted nada. For example, Selena nada muy rápido.
Okay.
Selena nada muy rápido.
I don't know her, but
Okay.
I guess so.
The next one. Nada could also mean nothing. For example, Diego, no me gusta nada de ti. No me gusta nada de ti.
That's so sad, man.
Le pegaste a mi muñeca. That's it for today, my family of SpanishPod101.com. We are pretty happy to see you once again. Please give us your thumbs up, write your comments down there, click on the notifications, and subscribe to this beautiful channel.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
Hasta luego.
Hello there, my beautiful friends from SpanishPod101.com. As you might know, my name is Diego.
And I'm Efraín.
And in today's video, we're going to check the most popular names in Mexico.
Yeah, chances are that if you have a friend, a Mexican friend, his name could could be in this list.
Yeah, of course.
If you want to confirm it, stay with us.
Yeah, and we are also going to give you the belonging nicknames for each name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, enjoy this video.
Woo!
Okay, guys, so even though there are thousands and thousands of names, we have gathered for you the most common ones used in Mexico. So let's start this list with the names for boys, okay?
Okay.
So the first one.
The first one is Juan. Okay, Juan. And the nickname for this name is Juanito.
Yeah,
It's pretty common to hear that.
exactly. Number 2, we have Jose Luis. Yeah, this is a compound name. Jose Luis. Jose Luis. You can also hear it, or the nickname is Chelis, or even Jose Lu, or even Pepe Lu. Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you hear just the name Luis, normally the nickname for Luis is Huicho.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, the third one is Jose. And Jose, well, is the short part of Jose Luis, the first part.
The first part.
Okay, for Jose, we have this nickname, Pepe. Pretty common to hear it.
Pretty common, Pepe.
Uh-huh.
So the next one is Francisco. Francisco, and the nickname for Francisco is either Paco or Pancho.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, Antonio. And Antonio has this nickname, Toño or Tony.
Yeah.
Antonio.
That's like,
Yep.
Yeah, one of my friends is Toño.
Yeah, one of your best friends.
One of my best friends is Toño. Good. Okay, so the next one is Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Jesus. And the nickname for Jesus could be either Chucho or Chuy.
Yeah, cool. Okay, the next one is Miguel Ángel. Miguel Ángel. Miguel Ángel. And the nickname for this one is Mickey or Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
For Miguel.
For Miguel rather, yeah. But...
Miguel, Mike. Well,
Okay, guys, so the next one is Pedro. Pretty common as well.
Yeah.
Pedro. And you can also hear the nickname Perico.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Alejandro. Alejandro. And the nickname is Alex or Ale.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Another one that is very common is Manuel. Manuel. And for Manuel, we have the nickname Manu or even Manolo.
Okay. Well, the next one is Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos. We have the nickname is Juanca, JC,
Yeah, JC.
JC, like in English, and for Juan only, no, for Carlos we have Charlie.
Oh yeah,
Just
that's
for
very common.
Carlos.
Just for Carlos.
Charlie.
Charlie. Good. So another one that we have is Roberto. Roberto. And for Roberto, we have two main ones to make nicknames. And these are Beto
Okay.
and also Robert.
Robert.
Yeah.
Now we have Fernando. And you can say Nando. You can call him as Nando or Fer.
Yeah, like
Fer.
you split the name. Fernando.
Fer.
Fernando.
And Nando. Okay,
That's
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, pues,
Good.
you
So
know.
another one very common is Daniel. And for Daniel, you can call a Daniel either Danny,
Ajá.
or even some people say Dan,
Ajá.
or even Danny Boy.
Danny boy.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, okay, now guys, in the last years, the names have changed a lot.
Yep.
So even though these names are very common, some of them are kind of old-fashioned. So nowadays, I have known a lot of very young people here in Mexico whose names, but the new popular names are Santiago. We also have Leonardo's,
Leonardo and Matias.
Matias as well.
Matias.
Matias. Nice.
Okay, let's continue with girl names. Okay, so you can hear Maria. And Maria is a very traditional name in this country, but it is not very popular as itself. You can rather find it in a compound name, yeah, like Maria Jose, Maria Guadalupe, Maria del Carmen,
Maria Fernanda.
Maria Fernanda. Okay, so let's start with these ones. And the first one is Maria Guadalupe. Maria Guadalupe. Okay, and you can call her if you have a friend whose name is... Okay, the nickname is Marilu.
Yeah, Marilu.
Yeah.
Very, very cute. Marilu.
Marilu.
So the next one is Maria Fernanda, like our friend. Maria Fernanda, if you have a friend who's Maria Fernanda, the nickname is either Marifer or Mafer.
Yeah, you can find her in Spanish both and
In the videos, we have some videos with Mafer.
Mafer. We
Good.
call her like that. Okay. The next one is María del Carmen. María del Carmen. And you can call her Mari Carmen.
Mari Carmen.
Mari Carmen.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one that we have is Maria Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Jose. And the nickname for Maria Jose is either Marijo
Yep.
or Majo.
Majo.
Yeah.
I have a friend. Many friends.
Many Majos?
Yeah,
Many Majos?
I like that name though.
Majo.
Yep.
Good. Now, as you can obviously infer from this, the nickname for Maria is just Mari.
Mari.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's continue now with Guadalupe. Guadalupe. And, well, the nickname for this name is Lupe or Lupita. This is a very common name in Mexico because we have La Virgen de Guadalupe.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice cultural note. Okay, so another very common name is Ximena. Okay, and for Ximena, you have the nickname Mena or just Jime. Yeah, it's like we also split the name. Jime or just Mena.
Mena. Okay.
Okay.
Well, the next one is Verónica.
Mhm.
Verónica. And the nickname for this name is Vero. Vero. Oye, Vero.
Oye, Vero.
Oye, Vero. Ah,
Some people say Verito.
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 Can also say Verito.
Good, good.
Like our friend, Vero.
Yeah, like Vero, like our friend.
Yeah.
Good. Well, and another very common one is Juana. And for Juana, we have either the nickname is Juanis or even Chana. Chana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next one is Margarita. Margarita. The nickname is Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie, Margot, or Marga. The last one is not that common. Maggie is more common.
Maggie is the most common one.
Yep.
Maggie. Like the sauce.
Like the sauce.
Maggie.
Ándale. Okay, we have given to you the most popular names for our generation, but lately some other names have arisen. Let me give you 3 of them. The first one is Regina. 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 The nickname, Gina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one, Sofia. Sofia. Nickname, Sophie. Or the last one, Camila. Camila. The nickname for this name is Cam or Cami.
Nice, nice. Now, last but not the least,
Uh-huh.
there are other names that obviously have an influence from our neighbors from the States or in general from the English culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be strange to find girls here with names such as Michelle, very
Okay.
common, Emily,
Uh-huh.
Kimberly. We have also Allison
Melanie.
and Melanie, of course. Yeah. So it wouldn't be strange to find
Uh-huh.
girls with this name.
Vaya, eso nunca lo hubiera esperado, ¿eh?
No, ni yo, but for boys as well. I mean, we have Kevin, very common as well,
Oh, sí.
or Jordan. Yeah.
That's it for today, my beautiful family of SpanishPod101.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give us your thumbs up, share this video with other learners, write your comments down there, click on the notifications, subscribe to this beautiful channel so you can know when we upload a new video and you can see us again.
Exactly.
These beautiful faces. Okay, see you in our next video. Hasta luego.
See you guys.
Today, we're going to have a look at the use of past participles as adjectives in Spanish. Hoy vamos a ver el uso del participio como adjetivo en español. Vamos a analizar estas 4 oraciones. La empresa ha contratado a Ana. La empresa ha contratado a Pedro, el empleado contratado tiene un diploma en economía, la mujer contratada tiene 10 años de experiencia. Mira las diferentes formas y los usos de contratado y contratada. Let's analyze these phrases and have a look, pay attention to the past participle hired, contratado, and contratada, and see how they are used in these 4 sentences. El participio de los verbos es una forma no personal del verbo, igual que el infinitivo o el gerundio, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, hablar, hablando y hablado. El participio es hablado, el infinitivo es hablar y el gerundio es hablando. Estas son formas no personales del verbo. En el caso de los participios, podemos usar los participios para como un verbo, ¿sí? Cuando lo usamos con el pretérito perfecto compuesto o antepresente. También lo podemos usar solo para modificar sustantivos, ¿sí? Lo podemos usar como un adjetivo calificativo para describir a cosas o personas. Cuando lo usamos como un adjetivo, tenemos que tener en cuenta que va a cambiar de género, ¿sí? Masculino y femenino, y también de número. Tenemos que cambiarlo a plural o singular dependiendo de lo que estamos modificando. So the past participle is a no personal form of the verbs, the same as the infinitives and the gerund. So the infinitive, for example, in Spanish is hablar, yes, to talk. The gerund will be everything that is ando o yendo when we have the ing form in English, right? For example, hablando, speaking. And the past participle of the verb is, for example, hablado, which is spoken in English. We use the past participle when we want to form the present perfect tense, for example. And also, we are going to use past participle as adjectives in Spanish. When we use them as adjectives, we have to be careful that we have to see what we are modifying, because we're going to use them as descriptions, yes, to describe things and people, and therefore we need to pay attention what we're describing, because we have to match the noun, yes, what we're describing in gender, masculino and femenino, and also in numbers, singular and plural. ¿Cómo formamos los participios de los verbos? Vamos a tomar el verbo, ¿sí? Y la terminación del verbo infinitivo, vamos a sacar la terminación y vamos a reemplazarla por ado en el caso de los verbos que terminan con ar. Por ejemplo, hablar, hablado, trabajar, trabajado, cantar, cantado, etc. Y los verbos que terminan en o ir, vamos a sacar la terminación y la vamos a reemplazar por ido. Por ejemplo, comer, comido, leer, leído, vivir, vivido, recibir, recibido. Así se forman los participios regulares del español. Cuando lo usamos con el pretérito perfecto o pretérito perfecto compuesto o antepresente, por ejemplo, lo vamos a usar con el auxiliar haber, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, he comido la pizza, ¿sí? I have eaten the pizza. He comido la pizza. Aquí estamos usándolo como un verbo, ¿sí? Una perífrasis verbal con el verbo el auxiliar haber. En este caso, no es un adjetivo, no lo estamos usando como un adjetivo, en este caso es parte del verbo. Siempre que va con haber, será parte del verbo. Cuando lo usamos como adjetivo, por lo general va a estar modificando a un sustantivo directamente, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, la mujer sentada, ¿sí? The seated woman. O puede estar también usado después del verbo estar, ¿sí? La mujer está sentada, el hombre está sentado, los niños están sentados, o los niños sentados son mis sobrinos. ¿Puedes ver aquí la diferencia? How are we going to form the past participle of the verbs? We're going to have a look at the 3 different endings of the verbs in Spanish in the infinitive form. So the verbs ending in ar, like hablar, trabajar, bailar, cantar, etc. So we're going to remove the ar, the ending, and we're going to replace it for ado. So hablar is going to become hablado, trabajar, trabajado, cantar, cantado. And the verbs ending in er or ir, we're going to change the ending er and ir for ido and form the past participle that way. Por ejemplo, comer, comido, leer, leído, ¿sí? Eaten or read, y vivir, vivido, recibir, recibido. So to live, lived, and to receive, received. When we use it in the present tense, in the Spanish present tense, we are going to always have that auxiliary verb, haber, that is going to accompany these or precede these past participles. And that's how we know that they are not an adjective in that respect, they are part of the verb. For example, he comido pizza, I have eaten pizza. It will always be following haber when it's used in the verb, as a verb. When we use it as an adjective, it will be following a noun, yes, a person or a thing, and it's going to be describing this person or this thing. See, for example, la señora sentada, yes, so the seated woman, or el señor sentado, yes, and you can see here that it's going to change the gender, right, because we're describing the woman or the man. And also in the plural, los niños sentados. And when we use it as an adjective, it's also very common that we'll have it with the verb to be estar. Yes, so la mujer está sentada, the woman is seated. El hombre está sentado, the man is seated. Los niños están sentados. The children are seated. En el caso de los 4 ejemplos que estábamos analizando al principio de la clase, puedes ver que las primeras 2 oraciones estamos usando el participio como un verbo, como forma verbal del presente del pretérito perfecto o el pretérito perfecto compuesto. La empresa ha contratado. Ha contratado, aquí tenemos el verbo haber más el participio, es un verbo. Es incorrecto, ¿sí? O es incorrecto si estamos diciendo que la empresa ha contratado a Ana. Es incorrecto decir, bueno, Ana es mujer, entonces tengo que poner el verbo en femenino. La empresa ha contratada a Ana. No, es incorrecto. Tenemos que decir la empresa ha contratado, ¿sí? Porque no importa si la empresa es femenino o si Ana es femenino, el verbo siempre es igual. Cuando cambia el género del participio, cuando lo estamos usando como un adjetivo para describir a una cosa o a unas personas. En el ejemplo 3 y 4, ¿sí? El empleado contratado. Contratado es el empleado. Estamos describiendo al empleado. The hired employee. Yes? No, I have hired or the company has hired is the hired person, el empleado, the employee. Y en este caso empleado es masculino, por eso vamos a decir contratado. Cuando decimos la mujer contratada, tenemos que cambiar a la forma femenina porque ahora estamos describiendo una mujer. The hired woman, estamos diciendo en este caso. So in the case of the 4 examples that we were looking and analyzing at the beginning of the lesson, we can see that the first 2 we are referring it's a phrasal verb. So the past participle here in Spanish is used as a part of the verb, and you can see it or recognize it because it's straight after el verbo auxiliar haber. Yes, so la empresa ha contratado a Ana o la empresa ha contratado a Pedro. It doesn't matter that la empresa is feminine or the company is feminine or Ana is feminine, is a woman, Pedro is a man. It doesn't matter. Here we're just using the verb, which is always the same. We conjugate it the same. Yes, for the 3rd person singular. Yes, ha contratado. Yes, it doesn't matter because it's not being used as an adjective in these cases. When we say la mujer contratada o el empleado contratado, here we are not using the verb haber, so we're not using it as a verb. Here we're using it as an adjective to describe el empleado, the employee, and the woman, la mujer. So here we are saying the hired man and the hired woman. So as you can see here, the people that we're describing have different genders, so that's why we have to change and match these genders to the people that we're describing here. Hay algunos participios irregulares. Vamos a ver algunos de los más comunes. Y vamos a verlos con algunos ejemplos de cómo los usamos como adjetivos. Por ejemplo, abrir, abierto. La puerta está abierta. El coche está abierto. Cubrir, cubierto. Por ejemplo, el cielo está cubierto. La piscina está cubierta. Decir, dicho. Por ejemplo, dicho contrato es importante. La dicha firma está más arriba. Hacer, hecho. El pastel está hecho. La cama no está hecha. Imprimir, impreso. El libro está impreso. La carta está impresa. Morir, muerto. Cervantes está muerto. La reina Sofía está muerta. Poner, puesto. El botón está puesto. La camisa está puesta. Resolver, resuelto. El problema está resuelto. La crisis está resuelta. Romper, roto. El coche está roto. La televisión está rota. Ver, visto. El tema ya está visto. La clase está vista. Muy bien, ahora vamos a practicar el uso del participio como un adjetivo. Vamos a describir estas cosas. Puedes usar el verbo y entre paréntesis y ponerlo en el participio como un adjetivo. Cuidado, tienes que cambiar el género y número dependiendo de lo que estemos modificando. Now let's practice. I'm going to show you a few things. We're going to describe a few things and I want you to form the past participle of this verse between brackets and we're going to use them as adjectives. So be careful, pay attention when you have to change gender and number accordingly. Número 1. Este camarón está. Número 2. Esta manzana está. Número 3. Este pan está. Número 4. El lápiz está. Número 5. Este melón está. Número 6. Este queso está. Este apio está. Respuestas. Número 1. Este camarón está cocido. Número 2. Esta manzana está mordida. Número 3. Este pan está quemado. Número 4. El lápiz está roto. Número 5. Este melón está partido. Número 6. Este queso está rebanado. Y número 7. Este apio está picado. Muy bien, eso es todo por hoy. Muchísimas gracias por ver la clase y nos vemos en la próxima. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that now you understand how to use past participles in Spanish as adjectives. I will see you next class. Adiós, nos vemos, hasta luego.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to Mexico. Angel Salazar, a passenger sitting next to him, introduces himself by saying, "Hi, I'm Angel. Nice to meet you."
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Listen to the conversation and focus on Mark's response. Note, Even though this is their first encounter, both Angel and Mark use only their first names. Ready?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
Once more with the English translation.
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Hi, I'm Angel. Nice to meet you.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mark.
Let's take a closer look at Mark's response.
Do you remember how Mark Lee introduces himself? Nice to meet you. I'm Mark.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
First is the expression,
Mucho gusto.
meaning, nice to meet you.
Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto.
This expression literally means much pleasure, but translates as nice to meet you.
Mucho gusto.
This expression can be used in any situation, from an informal encounter to a business meeting. Do you remember how Mark says, I'm Mark?
Soy Mark.
First is,
Soy.
I am.
Soy. Soy.
Note
Soy.
is a shortened form of,
Yo soy.
in Spanish,
Yo.
I is usually omitted,
Soy.
is from the verb,
Ser.
meaning to be in Spanish.
Ser.
Next is the name,
Mark.
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 Together, it's,
Soy Mark.
I'm Mark.
Soy Mark.
The sentence pattern is,
Soy name.
I'm name.
Soy name.
To use this pattern, simply replace the name placeholder with your name. Imagine you're Karen. In Spanish,
Karen. Karen.
say, I'm Karen. Ready?
Soy Karen.
I'm Karen.
Soy Karen.
Note that Mexican people have two last names. The first one comes from the father's family, and the second one from the mother's. In a formal situation, people might give you only their first last name, or they might give you both. For example, Angel's full name is Ángel Salazar Almonte. In a formal situation, such as when he's talking to a colleague, he might say, Soy Ángel Salazar. I'm Ángel Salazar. Soy Ángel Salazar. Or in an even more formal situation, such as when he's introducing himself to a new boss, he would probably give both last names. Soy Ángel Salazar Almonte. I'm Ángel Salazar Almonte. Soy Ángel Salazar Almonte. You should give your full name in business or formal situations, but in more casual settings, it's fine to give only your first name.
Let's look at some examples of people introducing themselves. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
Mucho gusto. Soy Ángel. Mucho gusto. Soy Ángel.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark. Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
Mucho gusto. Soy Karen. Mucho gusto. Soy Karen.
Mucho gusto. Soy Víctor. Mucho gusto. Soy Víctor.
Mucho gusto. Me llamo Sonia. Mucho gusto. Me llamo Sonia.
Did you notice how the last speaker replaces soy with me llamo?
She says,
Mucho gusto. Me llamo Sonia.
"Nice to meet you. My name is Sonia."
Mucho gusto. Me llamo Sonia.
This pattern uses the phrase,
Me llamo.
which literally means I myself call, but translates as my name is.
Me llamo.
First is the word
Me.
meaning me.
Me. Me.
After this is
Llamo.
I call.
Llamo. Llamo.
Note
Llamo.
is the shortened form of,
Yo llamo.
in Spanish,
Yo
I is usually omitted,
llamo.
is from the verb
Llamar.
meaning to call. Next is the name.
Sonia. Sonia.
Altogether, it's
Me llamo Sonia.
literally, myself I call Sonia, but it translates as my name is Sonia.
Me llamo Sonia.
The pattern is
Me llamo name.
my name is name.
Me llamo name.
You should be aware of this pattern, but for this lesson, we'll use the sentence pattern
Soy name.
I'm name.
Soy name.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Hola.
Hello,
Hola. Hola. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say, nice to meet you? Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto.
and the Spanish pronunciation of Mark's name?
Mark. Mark.
Do you remember how Mark says, I'm Mark?
Soy Mark. Soy Mark.
Do you remember how Mark says, nice to meet you, I'm Mark?
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark. Do you remember how to say hello? Hola. Hola.
Finally, do you remember how Angel says, hi, I'm Angel, nice to meet you?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Hola. Soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Let's practice. Imagine you're Karen.
Karen.
Respond to Angel's self-introduction. Ready?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Soy Karen.
Listen again and repeat.
Mucho gusto. Soy Karen. Mucho gusto. Soy Karen.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Sonia.
Sonia.
Ready?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Soy Sonia.
Listen again and repeat.
Mucho gusto. Soy Sonia. Mucho gusto. Soy Sonia.
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Victor.
Víctor.
Ready?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto. Soy Víctor.
Listen again and repeat.
Mucho gusto. Soy Víctor. Mucho gusto. Soy Víctor. This is the end of this lesson.
Remember, these can-do lessons are about learning practical language skills. What's next? Show us what you can do. When you're ready, take your assessment. You can take it again and again, so try anytime you like. Our teachers will assess it and give you your results.
Hasta la próxima. See you next time.
Well done! Now you know how to introduce yourself in Spanish. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
This is the end of this lesson.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to Mexico. Angel Salazar Almonte, a passenger sitting next to him, asks, "Where are you from?"
¿De dónde es usted?
Listen to the conversation and focus on Mark's response. Note, the speakers in this conversation use formal Spanish. Ready?
¿De dónde es usted?
Soy de Nueva York.
Once more with the English translation.
¿De dónde es usted?
Where are you from?
Soy de Nueva York.
I'm from New York.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Angel Salazar asks, "Where are you from?"
¿De dónde es usted?
Let's start with
Usted.
a formal word meaning you.
Usted. Usted.
Before
Usted.
is,
Es.
this literally means is, but it translates as are, as in are you when using formal Spanish.
Es. Es.
Note,
Es.
comes from the verb
Ser.
meaning to be.
Ser.
Together,
Es. Usted.
are you when using formal Spanish.
Es. Usted.
Before this is
¿Dónde?
where,
¿Dónde? ¿Dónde?
and at the beginning is
De.
meaning from in this context.
De. De.
Altogether,
¿De dónde es usted?
where are you from when using formal Spanish?
¿De dónde es usted?
Remember this question. You'll hear it again later in this lesson. Now, let's take a closer look at the response. Do you remember how Mark Lee says, "I'm from New York"?
Soy de Nueva York.
First is
Soy.
I am.
Soy. Soy.
Note,
Soy.
is a shortened form of
Yo soy.
I am. In Spanish, the
Yo.
I is usually omitted.
Soy.
Is from the verb
Ser.
meaning to be.
Ser.
Next is
De.
from in this context.
De.
Last is the city,
Nueva York.
New York.
Nueva York. Nueva York.
Altogether,
Soy de Nueva York.
I'm from New York.
Soy de Nueva York.
The pattern is
Soy de city name.
I'm from city name.
Soy de city name.
To use this pattern, simply replace the city name placeholder with the name of your hometown. Imagine you're from Sydney. In Spanish, it's
Sydney. Sydney. Sydney.
say, I'm from Sydney. Ready?
Soy de Sydney.
I'm from Sydney.
Soy de Sydney.
In Spanish, there are basically two language registers. The formal register, which is used to address strangers or people we encounter in business settings, and the informal register, which is used to talk to friends, family, and people younger than yourself. When addressing a single person, there are two options. Usted, when using the formal register, and tú, when using the informal register. Since this lesson's dialogue is between two strangers meeting for the first time, we will be using the formal register in this lesson.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
Soy de Nueva York. Soy de Nueva York.
Soy de Guadalajara. Soy de Guadalajara.
Soy de Seattle. Soy de Seattle.
Soy de Londres. Soy de Londres.
Soy de Veracruz. Soy de Veracruz.
Soy australiana. Soy australiana.
Did you notice how the last speaker omits the de and replaces a city name with Australiana?
Soy australiana.
I'm Australian.
Soy australiana.
Instead of
De.
plus the city name placeholder, she uses an adjective for her nationality. This pattern is
Soy nationality.
I'm nationality.
Soy nationality.
In Mia Martin's case, she uses a feminine adjective to describe herself.
Soy australiana.
If the speaker were a male from Australia, he would use a masculine adjective
Australiano.
to describe himself.
Soy australiano.
I'm Australian.
Soy australiano.
You should be aware of this pattern, but for this lesson, we'll use the pattern
Soy de city name.
I'm from city name.
Soy de city name.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Guadalajara,
Guadalajara,
Guadalajara, Guadalajara. Seattle,
Seattle,
Seattle, Seattle. Londres,
London,
Londres, Londres. Veracruz,
Veracruz,
Veracruz, Veracruz. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready?
Do you remember how to say New York?
Nueva York. Nueva York.
And the word meaning from? De. De.
Now, do you remember how Mark says, I'm from New York?
Soy de Nueva York.
Soy de Nueva York. Do you remember how to say where? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? And the formal word for you? Usted. Usted.
Do you remember how Angel Salazar asks, where are you from?
¿De dónde es usted?
¿De dónde es usted? Do you remember how to say London? Londres. Londres. And the word for Seattle? Seattle. Seattle. Do you remember the word for Veracruz? Veracruz. Veracruz.
Let's practice. Imagine you're Jack Jones from London. Respond to Angel's question. Ready?
¿De dónde es usted?
Soy de Londres.
Listen again and repeat.
Soy de Londres. Soy de Londres.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Emma Lopez from Seattle. Ready?
¿De dónde es usted?
Soy de Seattle.
Listen again and repeat.
Soy de Seattle. Soy de Seattle.
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Victor Trejo from Veracruz. Ready?
¿De dónde es usted?
Soy de Veracruz.
Listen again and repeat.
Soy de Veracruz. Soy de Veracruz.
You can also use the pattern with states and countries. For example,
Soy de México.
I'm from Mexico.
This is the end of this lesson.
Remember, these can-do lessons are about learning practical language skills. What's next? Show us what you can do. When you're ready, take your assessment. You can take it again and again, so try anytime you like. Our teachers will assess it and give you your results.
Hasta la próxima. See you next time.
Well done! Now you know how to tell someone where you're from in Spanish. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
This is the end of this lesson.
This is Mark Lee, and he's on a plane to Mexico. He asks the passenger sitting next to him, Ángel Salazar, "Are you a student?"
¿Eres estudiante?
Listen to the conversation and focus on Angel's response. Note, the speakers in this conversation use informal Spanish. Ready?
¿Eres estudiante?
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Eres estudiante?
Are you a student?
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
No, I'm not a student. I'm an investor.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how Mark asks, "Are you a student?"
¿Eres estudiante?
First is
Eres.
which means are, as in you are.
Eres. Eres.
Note,
Eres.
is a shortened form of
Tú eres.
you are. In Spanish,
Tú.
you is often omitted as it is understood.
Eres.
Comes from the verb
Ser.
meaning to be.
Ser.
Next is
Estudiante.
student.
Estudiante. Estudiante.
In Spanish, all nouns have grammatical gender and are either singular or plural.
Estudiante.
Is masculine and singular. Altogether, it's
¿Eres estudiante?
Are you a student?
¿Eres estudiante?
Now, let's take a closer look at the response. Do you remember how Ángel says, "No, I'm not a student. I'm an investor"?
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
First is
No.
no.
No. No.
It answers Mark's yes or no question. Are you a student?
¿Eres estudiante?
After this, Ángel specifies that he is not a student.
No soy estudiante.
I'm not a student.
No soy estudiante.
First is
No.
meaning not here.
No.
Next is
Soy.
I am.
Soy. Soy.
Note,
Soy.
is a shortened form of
Yo soy.
in Spanish, the
Yo.
I is usually omitted as it is understood.
Soy.
Is from the verb
Ser.
meaning to be.
Ser.
Together,
No soy.
literally means not I am, but it translates as I'm not.
No soy.
Next is
Estudiante.
student.
Estudiante.
Altogether,
No soy estudiante.
I'm not a student.
No soy estudiante.
Ángel then tells Mark his actual occupation.
Soy inversionista.
I'm an investor.
Soy inversionista.
First is
Soy.
I am.
Soy.
Next is
Inversionista.
investor.
Inversionista. Inversionista. Inversionista.
Is a masculine singular noun. Together.
Soy inversionista.
I'm an investor.
Soy inversionista.
Altogether.
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
No, I'm not a student. I'm an investor.
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
The pattern is
No, no soy occupation. Soy actual occupation.
no, I'm not occupation. I'm actual occupation.
No, no soy occupation. Soy actual occupation.
Imagine you're Emma Lopez, a student. Angel Salazar asks you if you're a teacher. The word for a female teacher is
Maestra. Maestra. Maestra.
say, no, I'm not a teacher. I'm a student. Ready?
No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante.
No, I'm not a teacher. I'm a student.
No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante.
In Spanish, some occupations have the same word for both genders. For example,
Estudiante. Estudiante. Estudiante.
however, much of the time, words will differ depending on gender. In general, nouns that end in O tend to be masculine, while nouns that end in A tend to be feminine. Let's look at some more examples. Listen and repeat, or speak along with the native speakers.
No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista. No, no soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante. No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante.
No, no soy maestro. Soy ingeniero. No, no soy maestro. Soy ingeniero.
No, no soy enfermera. Soy doctora. No, no soy enfermera. Soy doctora.
No, no soy estudiante. Soy maestro. No, no soy estudiante. Soy maestro.
No, soy barista. No, soy barista.
Did you notice how the last speaker omits no soy estudiante?
No, soy barista.
No, I'm a barista.
No, soy barista.
When directly responding to someone's question, it's often possible to omit part of the response. Here, by simply answering
No,
no, you can omit
no soy estudiante.
I'm not a student. This pattern is
No, soy actual occupation.
no, I'm actual occupation.
No, soy actual occupation.
You should be aware of this pattern, but for this lesson, we'll use the pattern
No, no soy occupation. Soy actual occupation.
no, I'm not occupation. I'm actual occupation.
No, no soy occupation. Soy actual occupation.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Estudiante.
Student,
Estudiante. Estudiante.
teacher,
Maestro. Maestro. Maestra. Maestra.
Engineer.
Ingeniero. Ingeniero. Ingeniera. Ingeniera.
Nurse.
Enfermero. Enfermero. Enfermera. Enfermera.
Doctor.
Doctor. Doctor. Doctora. Doctora. Barista.
Barista.
Barista. Barista.
Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember the word for a male investor? Inversionista. Inversionista. Do you remember how Angel says, I'm an investor? Soy inversionista. Soy inversionista. Do you remember how to say student? Estudiante. Estudiante. And how to say not? No. No. Do you remember how Angel says, I'm not a student? No soy estudiante. No soy estudiante. Do you remember how Angel Salazar says, I'm not a student, I'm an investor?
No soy estudiante. Soy inversionista.
No soy estudiante, soy inversionista. Do you remember how Mark Lee asks, Are you a student?
¿Eres estudiante?
¿Eres estudiante? Do you remember the word for a male teacher? Maestro. Maestro. And the word for a female teacher? Maestra. Maestra. Do you remember the word for a male engineer? Ingeniero. Ingeniero.
Let's practice. Imagine you're Mark Lee and you're an engineer. Respond to Angel's question. Ready?
¿Eres maestro?
No, no soy maestro. Soy ingeniero.
Listen again and repeat.
No, no soy maestro. Soy ingeniero. No, no soy maestro. Soy ingeniero.
Let's try another. Imagine you're Victor Trejo and you're a teacher. Respond to Angel's question. Ready?
¿Eres estudiante?
No, no soy estudiante. Soy maestro.
Listen again and repeat.
No, no soy estudiante. Soy maestro. No, no soy estudiante. Soy maestro.
Let's try one more. Now, imagine you're Emma Lopez and you are a student. Respond to Angel's question. Ready?
¿Eres maestra?
No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante.
Listen again and repeat.
No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante. No, no soy maestra. Soy estudiante.
This is the end of this lesson.
Remember, these can-do lessons are about learning practical language skills. What's next? Show us what you can do. When you're ready, take your assessment. You can take it again and again, so try anytime you like. Our teachers will assess it and give you your results.
Hasta la próxima. See you next time.
Well done! Now you know how to talk about your occupation in Spanish. That's all there is to it. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
This is the end of this lesson.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is the first step in your language learning journey that will guarantee your success. If you have trouble sticking with your language learning goals, it's probably because you're skipping one specific step. It's the step you need to take before you even start any learning. And doing it will help you stick with the language, not get overwhelmed, and reach your language goals. So today you'll learn 1. What solo language learners need to succeed, and 2. How to do self-assessment and set yourself up for success. But first, listen up. Here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Giving Directions Conversation Cheat Sheet. Do you know how to tell a taxi driver where to go in your target language? You'll be able to. With this PDF cheat sheet, you'll learn must-know words and phrases for giving directions. Second, the Most Common Verbs PDF ebook. You'll learn over 90 common verbs with this bonus PDF picture ebook. Download and review on any device. Third, how to talk about what you do in your free time. Learn how to say video games, fishing, and much more. You'll pick up over 25 words for leisure activities with this vocab bonus. Fourth, how to learn from home, learning strategies. Want to learn the language from the comfort of your home? This 1-minute lesson will give you all the best tactics for learning languages. Fifth, the top 35 adjectives for personalities. Can you describe your personality? This next bonus teaches you the 35 must-know adjectives for personalities, so you can talk about yourself in your target language. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. The first step in your language learning journey that will guarantee your success. Here's a question for you. When you want to learn a language, how do you usually get started with that goal? You might say the inspiration comes first, and that motivates you to start. Then you get a textbook or an app and go from there, right? That's a pretty standard answer, but how does that tend to work out? Most people end up falling off a week or a month later. Why do you think that happens? Leave a comment with why you think people tend to lose inspiration quickly. More often than not, it happens because you pick a goal, a learning routine, or a resource that overwhelms you and just isn't right for you. Here's a typical example. Let's say you work an 8-hour day and you want to try to start learning. Most people would try to squeeze in learning for 1 or 2 hours at night, or you could try and wake up an hour early. And usually that doesn't work out because you're trying to do things that you're not used to. Wake up earlier and study earlier. It doesn't fit your current lifestyle. So what should you do differently? Well, let's take an example from language schools. Before you start learning, language schools force you to take an assessment test on the first day. Why? So that they make sure the language lessons fit your level and put you in the proper class. The goal of an assessment test is to find out where you are and meet you there. That's something most solo learners don't do. And the problem is, if you're a solo learner, no one assesses you. And you yourself don't know what routine works best for you, how much time you can set aside, and how much studying you can comfortably do. We all imagine we can do an hour a day, but realistically speaking, it'll be a lot less than that. So, that's where self-assessment comes in. Before you start learning a language, or do any goal for that matter, it's important to know where you are in life, what your daily schedule is like, when you're busy and when you're free. So you can set your expectations, know how much time you can put in, and so you can start learning at a pace that works for you. Now, how do you actually assess yourself? There are 3 assessments you can do. 1. A life assessment. 2. A routine assessment. And 3. Language assessment. Language assessment will only be helpful if you already have some experience. If you're brand new, you won't need this. First, life assessment. Here, the goal is to see how the language will fit into your life and how you generally deal with goals. As in, if you succeeded with a goal before, what helped you succeed? You could take that and apply it here. If you failed before, find out why so you can avoid it this time. So you'll need to answer the following questions. Why are you learning this language? How will it help your life? What current connections do you have to this language? For example, listening to music, watching TV, you have a relative, you have neighbors or friends that speak it. What have you been doing so far to learn? Have you learned languages before? Have you failed any goals before? How or why? Have you succeeded with any goals before? How or why? Write these questions out and answer them. Next, the routine assessment. Write out your daily routine for a whole week. For example, wake up at 7 a.m., breakfast at 8 a.m., commute to work at 8:30 a.m., arrive at work at 9:30 a.m., lunch at 1 p.m., and so on. Do this for every day of the week. The goal here is to see what your daily routine is like, so you know when you're free, when you're busy, and where you can fit in language learning. That way, if you're super busy on Mondays and 5 minutes is all you can do, then that's good enough. You won't feel bad about doing only 5 minutes. If you see that you spend 30 minutes on commuting, add language learning on top of that existing routine. If you take walks or go for a jog, play an audio lesson there. Or even if you're cooking at a certain time, play an audio lesson in the background. Remember, look for an existing routine that you already stick with, like commuting, and where you can multitask. Don't try to create new routines. For example, waking up at 7 a.m. to learn will set you up for failure. If you usually wake up at 8 a.m., waking up at 7 a.m. will be even harder. And then, actually trying to learn a language at 7 a.m. makes it even harder. This is where new learners start having trouble. You're trying to do 2 things at once, trying to learn the language and trying to stick to a new routine. 1 is hard enough. Trying to do 2 can overwhelm you. So piggyback off of your existing routines first, so you can build momentum. And finally, there's language assessment. If you're an absolute beginner, you won't need much of an assessment. Just start with our absolute beginner recommended learning pathway. But if you have experience and want to assess yourself, there are 2 things you can do. First, if you're a Premium Plus user, then you're asked to do an assessment test when you join, but you can always request it again from your teacher. And second, if you're a Premium user, check our recommended pathways. We assign these pathways, level 1 to level 5, based on your learning level, from absolute beginner to advanced. At the start of each pathway, there's a diagnostic test. You can take that to assess yourself. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about when routines grow stale, how to learn more language with a new routine. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! What's your reason for learning language? Is it a personal goal, a hobby, or do you have dreams of moving to a country where it's spoken? In this video, you'll learn why your reason is crucial for motivation and for your success in language learning. We'll look at the top 10 reasons for learning a language from language learners just like you. What's your number one reason for learning a language? Whatever your reason is, whether big or small, knowing it or knowing your why is crucial for success and motivation. Number 1. I love the culture and the people who speak the language. This is a popular answer. Learning a language can be a great way to learn more about the culture and open up new ways to experience it. Number 2. I want to understand my favorite songs, movies, and TV shows. That's right. Songs, movies, and shows are great ways to immerse yourself in the language. If you're spending your time learning and also immersing yourself, you'll learn faster. Number 3. It's a beautiful language. Sometimes the answer is as simple as that. You have a genuine interest in the language itself. Number 4. My family comes from a place where the language is spoken. This can be popular for students who have moved to a new country and might want to connect to their home country's culture. Learning a language lets them learn things about their heritage and communicate with people who can teach them more about their cultural history. If your grandmother speaks a different language from you, it can be pretty hard to connect. So a lot of people want to learn a language to connect to family members as well. Number 5. I want to speak to my partner's family in their language. Similar to the reason above, perhaps you want to speak to your partner's parents or grandparents, but they don't speak your language. Not only can learning their native language let you connect with them on a more personal level, but it's also likely to impress them. Number 6. I'm learning the language to impress someone. We have many students say that they want to learn a new language to impress someone in their life. This could be a teacher, a parent, a friend, or even someone they admire and look up to. It always feels good to accomplish something and have other people recognize and be proud of your achievement. And you see this very often in language learning. When you learn a new phrase or can make a longer conversation, the people around you are bound to be impressed. Number 7, a love of traveling. There's no surprise here. Many people want to learn a new language to be able to travel more. Because you can see new places and learn about different cultures, traveling is a popular hobby for many people. And what better way to connect with the people that you meet on your travels than by being able to speak with them in their native language? We have a lot of students who just want to learn some basic conversations to help them on their trips, but even this can help you day to day. Number 8. I want to live in a country that speaks the language. After traveling around, someone might discover a country that really appeals to them, and they might decide they want to move there. But their language skills could use some work. Or maybe for a job or family reason, someone has to move to a new country. Not knowing the language can really make adjusting to a new home and even a new culture much more difficult. We have a lot of students who want to learn a language to help them when they move. Number 9. I just love learning languages. This is popular for people whose hobby is learning other languages. They fall in love with the process of actually studying and being able to speak in a new language. It's a huge feeling of accomplishment. Number 10. I want to open my mind and become more international. It's so important to expand your horizons and learn about more than your own culture. People around the world live their lives in different ways, and it's good to learn about them and how they interact. You never know what you could learn by opening your ears and mind to new things. Whatever your reason might be for learning a new language, as long as it keeps you motivated, it's a good one. Learning a new language is not an easy journey. It's one filled with lots of ups and downs. So keep in mind your reason and motivation for learning, whether it's so you can move to a new country or connect with a grandparent, and let it push you towards success. And if you're ready to achieve your language goals, just check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to know how to improve your listening and speaking skills, be able to save conversations, listen to them as many times as you want, and learn hundreds of practical everyday conversations? Well, there is an easy way to do this. In this video, we'll go over how to speak more using the dialogue track. So, what is the dialogue track? The dialogue track is an audio track with just the conversation from the lesson. It's only about 10 to 30 seconds long. Let's say you're looking at a 5-minute lesson about ordering food at a restaurant. First, you hear a conversation. Then our teachers explain every grammar rule and translate every word, so you know what it all means. That's where the dialogue track comes in. It gives you just the conversation. Here's what makes the dialogue track so powerful. First, you can quickly review the conversation without re-listening to the lesson. The dialogue track is just 10 to 30 seconds long, so it won't take you very long to cover both new and old information. This makes it perfect for a quick review of what you've just learned, and it helps keep it fresh in your brain. Second, you'll remember the conversations easier. Listen on repeat, like you would with a song, and the words, phrases, and grammar rules will stick better. And the more you come back to re-listen, the better it will all stick. Third, you'll speak more of your target language. So if you have 10, 20, or 100 dialogue tracks like that, then you have 10, 20, or 100 conversations that you'll know inside out and that you can use in real life. For example, conversations like catching up with friends, ordering at a restaurant, talking about your family, introducing yourself, and much, much more. Fourth, you improve your listening skills and can immerse yourself in the language. So imagine you've finished 20 lessons and you've downloaded 20 dialogue tracks to your phone. That's 20 conversations. You can create a playlist and play those 20 tracks and get used to the language and immerse yourself. To recap what we just learned, here's what you do to make the most of the dialogue tracks. First, after you finish a lesson, download the dialogue track. Save it to your computer or phone so you can listen to it on repeat whenever possible. Just replace 3 to 15 minutes of music listening for some language review. Next, if you've finished 20 lessons, you should have 20 dialogue tracks. Use those to create a playlist of these dialogue tracks so that you can listen to all kinds of conversations. And finally, try shadowing the conversations that you hear. This will become super easy once you've heard the conversation enough times. But if you're still struggling with a word or two, go back to the lesson and check the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation to find the words you need to practice. Boost your speaking skills with the dialogue track and check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to power up your language? You can do this by using practical lessons that you can use in everyday life. In this video, you'll find out what it takes to power up your language right now. Imagine you're speaking a language without stopping to think. You have all the words and grammar to express what you want to say, and they're all flowing out of you as if you were a native speaker. That's when language becomes powerful. So how do you power up your language skills like that? Books and software alone won't help, but actual practical daily conversation lessons will. Native speakers that explain the conversation and teach you how to respond will power your language up. And so will these tools to help you master vocabulary and pronunciation quickly. First, power up your language with Premium. This includes hundreds of audio and video lessons that will get you speaking. And you should know that we publish new lessons weekly. So on top of the current lesson library, there are even more lessons that you can learn along the way. And whatever your learning level is, we start you off with a lesson that's right for you. You can track your progress and see how much you've mastered with our site dashboard. Seeing your progress really helps you power up your language skills. It's really motivating to know that you're actually speaking and understanding a language that you couldn't before. Next, use the lesson notes. You don't get just the lessons. You also get detailed notes with each and every lesson. Meaning you get the complete lesson in writing and can easily follow along while you study. Plus, we've just recently upgraded them. The notes are brand new, easier to read, and work on any device, browser, or reader. Last, we have our premium study tools. As a premium member, you have unlimited website access, which means you also unlock our premium study tools. You'll get access to our 2,000-word core vocabulary list. These words are the most commonly used in everyday conversation, and they're essential to your conversational fluency. And you'll master them fast with our smart flashcard system and the word bank. You can perfect your pronunciation by reading from line-by-line transcripts. This means you'll have access to all the must-know words, and you'll be able to practice them with the correct pronunciation. Don't let your language learning slow down. If you're running low on motivation, power up your language learning with Premium. Get all of our premium tools for studying. Just check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to make consistent language breakthroughs? Here's how you do it with our advanced language learning system. In this video, you'll learn about 4 simple steps to make breakthroughs with our lessons. First, by breakthrough, we mean finally understanding and speaking language that you simply couldn't before. You finally break through. So if you're stuck at a beginner level or just aren't making much progress, this is for you. Here are 4 simple steps, but the first one is the most important one. Step 1. Accept that you need new lessons, new real-life conversations, new words, and new phrases. So you're hearing something new and improving your language skills. Repeating phrases you already know won't help you move forward. That's a mistake most learners make. They stick to what they already know. But if you could start understanding more language in minutes and start making consistent breakthroughs, would you? Well, here's how you break through with our learning system. Remember, you need to have a source of new lessons and new conversations to expose yourself to language you don't yet know. So if you're listening to our new lessons, which we publish weekly on top of our existing lesson library, you're good to go. If not, start right now. These lessons get you speaking and understanding language in minutes. Here's how. Visit the site, choose a new series or learning level that you haven't done already, and start with the first lesson. Step 2. Listen to a new lesson and expose yourself to real-life conversations. Now, you might not understand it at first, but in time you will. All the real-life conversations you hear in lessons are broken down, explained, and translated right after by our instructors. Plus, you can also read along with lesson notes so you never miss a word. So now you can actually understand the entire conversation. As a listener, you'll get exposed to brand new conversations and start understanding real-life conversations. So what's the next step? Step 3. You'll need to start speaking and repeating what you hear. That's the best way to start speaking any language. Do it from day 1. With our voice recorder available inside the lessons, you can listen to each line of the conversation and then repeat and record yourself to see how close you are to a native speaker. Finally, step 4. In case you missed anything, you can review with vocab lists, quizzes, and the line-by-line feature. The line-by-line breaks down the conversation, so you can hear and read each line again and again. So even if you can't catch something the first time, you can review what you heard and be able to hear it on the next listen. But remember, the most important step is the first one. You must jump into new lessons and new conversations in order to make a language breakthrough. To make your language breakthrough, just check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.